Stories Podcast, your number one show for everything guitar.
Hello, hello. Oh, it's me and my own. Hey, everybody. That shouldn't be like that. We've got Dr. Dan here live. Hello, Dr. Dan.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Ep-
How are
Hey,
you, Dan?
I'm good. Excellent. This week we've got episode 42. And after last week, I couldn't be more hyped about another episode. We've got so many news. We've got a great guest tonight. Looking forward to that.
If you're listening or watching and haven't seen or heard last week's episode, you have to check that out. That was totally mind blowing for me, and I still haven't really recovered because I've been so busy. I haven't had time to to really digest what happened. So I need to watch it back myself actually because there was a lot going on, and I'll stop promoting my own show now.
Yeah, I imagine yourself like going with your thumb up and down the whole week,
Oh,
trying
mate.
to find, where those joints are.
It was a week, yeah. So as you said, we've got a wonderful, lovely guest on today, and he's already in the green room. You two have been chatting about me, and I could hear you both. So I don't know why you couldn't hear me, but you couldn't. But he's here, and I feel like I'm keeping it a secret. It's Mikey Demus because we've just done the video for the new pedal, which we'll talk about tonight, which is the Angry Rhubarb, and yeah, I'll keep my mouth closed on that for a minute. We'll go to some news. We'll start talking about gear. When we talk about gear, we can bring Mikey in, I guess.
Yeah,
Is that
sure.
good with you, Dan?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Let's just check to everybody in the chat if the audio is okay, because it might not be. And so if anybody in the chat can let us know that everything's fine, we'll move on. And if there's anything wrong, then we'll bloody well clip the whole show. You ready for some news, Dan?
Of course.
Okay.
Let's go.
The news on
Am I going first?
on Tuesday. Yeah, you go first, man. What news have you got?
All right. All right. I got the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021. Have you heard about that?
I have, yeah.
What
People
do you
keep
know
asking
about
me
it?
if I was. Well, people get asking me if I was involved, and I've not been asked, and I wasn't asked last year, so no is the answer to that. But all I
right,
know
yeah.
about it is that Colin Scott has built what you're showing on screen right now, which is the is it the tartan caster? No, what is it? I can't
don't
remember what he's
the
called
name.
it.
I don't remember the name, but I love the looks. And I think what I understood from the guitar build-off is the Great Guitar Build-Off is that they kind of try to fund monies for less, wealthy guitar builders or less fortunate guitar builders to offer them like free or subsidized tools and courses and all that stuff to kind of get the artistry of building guitars, the craftsmanship to kind of don't get that lost and kind of cultivate that. And from what I can see, I mean, the Luthery scene is alive and well. I mean, it's just great what not just what our friend Colin did, but also others. It's pretty wicked. But Colin's guitar kind of blew it out of the water. I mean, combining a V with an original Scottish kilt is kind of pretty rad. And he started, you could, and the cool thing is you could actually check on Instagram. You could monitor what he was doing like on a almost daily basis. So he would take you from scene to scene, like he was winding his own pickups. I love those dual bladed pickups, and then the humbucker with this special cover. That's pretty cool. And I like the scenery with the whiskey. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some nice
and
touches.
a very nice touch. Yeah, and you could tell that this was a project like he was spending hours and hours, and others did as well. So the Instagram channel, The Great Guitar Build-Off, which is highly recommended by me, is featuring all those builders, and there are some wicked creations on there. I mean, isn't that like Jay Baker's 55's a V with some wooden carvings and stuff like that? That's just mental, and I love to see those fresh ideas, and or stuff like that, kind of quirky design. Yeah, I mean, Grosso guitars. I don't know how many Luthers are actually involved in it. I just like the idea that there's such a program. I mean, there's the European Guitar Builders Guild that organized Holy Grail Guitar Show, and kind of see that kind of vibe, live on with the great guitar build-off, where luthiers kind of involve themselves and create those amazing pieces is pretty wicked. And I mean, also you see how important it is. The judging panel is kind of high profile. You have Lee Anderton from Andertons. You have Derek Leonard from Big D Guitars. You've got Mary Spender, who is among the judges. Steve from Steve Guitar, and Sophie Burrell. Quite a few people, and that's pretty cool. And I just want to point the attention that this is still going, and if some of our readers and viewers and listeners haven't checked that out, I highly recommend taking a look at the creations and check out the Instagram channels. That's a good recommendation for your daily dose of great guitars.
Thanks for that. Well, let's switch back to your normal camera, because then we can see you properly. Because at the moment, every time we do that, we can just see Colin's crutch. But we just got a super chat from Mikhail. Not that I'm complaining about Colin's crutch. It's a wonderful crutch and a wonderful man. I haven't managed to keep up with it apart from Colin's stuff, and yeah, good luck to him. A lot of people are saying he should win, but I don't understand really how it's a competition. It's it is. We need to talk about the thing that was covering your face. We are sponsored this week.
Talk about that.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Amplitube, or Amplitube 5, I should say, the latest incarnation of the plugin. And I've played it. I know you've played it, Dan. Or have you played it? Because last time we spoke, you hadn't.
No, several times. Yeah. I kind of found my several interfaces that I was carrying around with me, and I played it. I like it. It's always great to have such a handy tool available, because I don't have any amps here. So if I want to just, play the latest John Mayer song that Andy hasn't heard yet, it's fairly easy to kind of dial in a pretty cool tone within seconds. So
throw in a little dig there. No, I haven't heard it. I've been busy. I don't know if you heard, Dan, but there's a new pedal on the market called the Angry Rhubarb. Someone had to make a video for it. It was me.
I know. I
mean, loads of other people made videos as well, really good videos. But I've been busy. I was like, John Mayer or Overdrive pedal,
Okay.
That being said, if John Mayer shows up in the chat, I might change my mind. Yeah, so we're sponsored by Amplitube. What? Yeah, the pink PRS.
Yeah, the pink silver.
Hang on, let me talk about the sponsor again, just to make sure they get their money's worth. Everybody go and buy Amplitube 5. There you go, done, easy. Go buy it, spend your money.
No, don't go away too fast. Amplitube is also part of your 40K giveaway, isn't it right?
Yeah, I'm giving away Amplitube 5 Max, which is worth I think about $500, and loads of custom shop credits, also worth $500 each. And you can get it by entering the 40K giveaway. But that is kind of news. I really want to grab Mikey in. So let me get over my news, and then we can talk that news, and then we can get Mikey in for the gear stuff. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds amazing.
Okay, so my news is sad news, really. This Guitar Summit has been postponed, and it genuinely has made me sad, because that's when I get to see some of my friends and hang out with people and see new guitars. And it was sort of, I've been talking to them, they've made the decision not to do it because of COVID, and it's a very sensible decision, and I'd rather them cancel it, of course, and be successful in the future rather than, fail, which is possible if things change. So they've done the sensible thing. What can I say? No Guitar Summit.
Well, I think they announced that they're going to kind of offer a couple like master classes and online workshops over the course of the weekend when the Guitar Summit 21 was actually supposed to happen. But I mean, I'm completely with you. Like, such a show. I mean, that was an amazing show last time, 2019, and you need the variety of exhibitors. You want a Paul Gilbert, you want those kind of high profile artists, and at the moment there's no chance, especially from the States, that anybody would come over because of COVID. So let's wait a couple more months, and next year it will be mind blowing. I'm pretty sure about that.
I'm sure. I'll also, probably have a new camera by then, and Henning will have 10 new cameras, so the whole show will be documented in 24K.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Dan, if I may, I would like to bring in our guest because I'm itching to get him in. And currently he's muted himself, so let's hope he unmutes himself before I bring him in. There we go. There we go. Here's our guest from Skindred and, of course, Redbeard Effects, Mr. Mikey Demus. Hello, Mikey Demus.
Hi. I look like a
Hello.
potato on my screen. I don't know if it looks any better on your end.
It will do. This is a new system we're using. The whole interview system is a bit rough and ready. They've told me that it will improve, but the main thing is your audio is great.
Okay, good.
So that's
good. Okay, I'll try and position myself so I can actually, I'm actually in the right spot. Here I am. I'm here. I'm here.
We need to go back.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm used to like being in a glorious sort of widescreen, but now I'm sort of like in phone size.
We can just turn
It's
us
okay.
off if you want. Hang on a minute. There we go.
Yep.
No, don't do that.
There you go.
Oh,
I've turned Dan off.
Awesome.
Oh, now you're in the middle. So, everybody, if you don't know Mikey, this is Mikey. And you've released a new pedal today. Let's go straight to the headlines. Tell us about your pedal, sir.
Yes, so release day today for the Angry Rhubarb, which is our new pedal. It's a paradynamic overdrive, which is really exciting. I've got one right here in the box. Let me pull it out. Let me see where we're at. So you get the custom, you get the standard. Sorry,
I'm going to hold mine up because I think my signal's better than yours. So I hold mine up, and then you imagine that I'm Mikey.
Okay, and then this is the pedal. So you
Oh,
can, you can hold that up and go, oh, isn't it pretty?
Can I pretend to give it to you? Hang on, put yours down.
Yeah, go on.
Right.
Go on.
Hang on. I'll give you your pedal, Mikey. Here you go.
Oh, thanks, man. Here it is. Oh, cool. Thank you.
Oh, that's what the super chat's for.
That is brilliant. Yeah, it's I'm sorry that my signal obviously isn't the best right now for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe someone in my building is like, I don't know, uploading something massive. Who knows? Yeah, so you might want to hold up yours and go, this is what it does. But it's a really exciting overdrive. It's basically, Thorpe came to me with this idea of like, what happens if we put an overdrive either side of an EQ circuit? Because there's sort of, massive debate about, does a drive sound better with EQ before, drive before the EQ or drive after the EQ? And so we thought, well, why don't we do both? And so, come up with this wicked pedal and made the EQ sort of like this slightly parametric. It's not completely parametric because it doesn't have a Q or bandwidth control, but it's basically, you can grab a frequency between 80 Hertz and 4K, and then boost it by about by 6 dB or cut it by 6 dB. So you can sort of pinch a frequency and like go have some of that or take it away. It's really you get really wicked usable musical tones out of it. It's really cool. And obviously, with the 2 gain controls, it's got a really wide range of what different kind of tones it can do. I love it. It's my favorite pedal that we do. I'm really excited about it.
Really, it's your favorite. That's cool.
It's my favorite, of course. It's the flavor of the month honeymoon period pedal. It's the best one we've done. Honestly, like everyone we've let play it, they've kind of all come back going, all really blown away with what it does and how it's quite different. Mine's got a nice scratch on the back that I've managed to do. That's excellent. Everyone's really blown away with how simple and yet how much fun it is. I think when we were sort of sending some out to various people to review and demo and video and stuff like that, I imagine there was a bit of like, oh, it's an overdrive pedal. But then as soon as we sent stuff out, people were getting loads of feedback back going, wow, this is actually really cool, really different in the best possible way.
Yeah. So some of the guys that are watching right now have seen my video. So some of them watched that, then came straight here. And if you haven't, then of course it's on the channel. But for me, I think the biggest compliment is that I took it to a friend's house, and I took a bunch of pedals. What's the collective word for pedals? Is it a bunch?
I don't know.
A troop?
Yeah.
A troop.
A stomp of pedals.
A stomp of pedals.
Army.
Yes, I took a stomp of pedals to my friend Steve's house, and we blindly put them in, or I put them in. He blindly played them along with a bunch of others, and this came in the top 3. This is one of the 3 that he didn't want to give me back, and that's a massive compliment. So I love the pedal. It still has this Redbeard sort of sound somehow. It's got this aggression, even though it's not as aggressive as, say, the Red Mist Mark IV. It's still aggressive.
It's kind of, it's still got that kind of like, for want of a better word, it's kind of got like a hairier sort of top end. It's one of the words you can use to kind of describe. It's got like some gristle on the top end, which, all our pedals kind of have that edge to when you turn them up. It's got loads of headroom. It's really loud. The gains when you turn them up, wanted them to do something. I didn't want it to be like too low gain a pedal, but it's probably compared to the Red Mist, it does more low gainy, kind of low to medium gain sounds, probably a bit cleaner than the Red Mist does, and we find that there's a lot more string and note separation with that kind of sound that you get from this pedal. I'm really stoked on it. Super stoked on it.
Good. So they're for sale as of now.
Yeah, they just went live like this evening at about 5 p.m. GMT, and yeah, we've already got a load of them. We've got a load of them positioned for sale around the globe. So I don't imagine they're going to hang around long the first run. I've already sold a bunch today, and I know like our distributor's been like absolutely smashing it on that front. So I'm really stoked. But it's proving to be a really, really popular pedal already, and it's only been a thing for a couple of hours,
That's good. We're going to go more into it in a little bit. We just want to give people a little bit of taste. And we've got some gear picks. One of them you might know, one of the gear of the week. But Dan, would you like to go first with this week's gear of the week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Then we've got a little jingle for you, everybody.
Dance, pick up the week. Dance, pick up the week.
Oh, hello.
There
What's
you
that?
go.
Mikey's
Hello.
jumped out for a minute. I'm just going to add Mikey back in. Mikey's coming.
Yeah, I
Don't
want
panic,
to
Mikey.
come in.
He's coming in. Hang on.
It's the me pedal. Woohoo. Where have you put me? Am I inside the pedal?
There you are. No, you're not in the
Yeah.
pedal. There
I'm
you
not-
are. There's
I'm-
Dan, and there's me. I can't figure out how to get you in there.
That's okay. I can just be like faceless and just talk.
Oh, I got it.
This is the
There he
this
is.
is the Paul Gilbert Mojo, is it? Amazing.
That is great. Yeah. New release for this week. And well, firstly, I picked it because it's Paul Gilbert, and he's amazing. And you could simply buy those pedals just because you want to watch him do more of those videos. Those pedal presentations, they are like 5 minutes of the actual pedal presentation. The rest is like talking about his history, talking about tone, talking about philosophy of playing the guitar, and it's just like he's one of the Zen masters of guitar playing. So that's what I always love when he does stuff with JHS or with TC Electronics. But the pedal itself sounds pretty interesting because, from what I understand, it's like it's the signaturized version of the original Mojo, and so of course it's got a new color. But it also has at least like a different voicing and one additional switch. Is that right, Andy?
Yeah. So they've replaced the voicing switch with a switch that makes it go to 11, which gives you that little bit more boost to go to do whatever Paul Gilbert does. So I expect that'll work well.
And obviously the paint makes it sound different.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
That's
Billy
like
Corgan
50%
would
of the
agree.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Purple's a great sound.
I have one coming. It's on its way currently from Denmark, so I can give you some more updates soon. But we don't really need to talk about it. It's Paul Gilbert, so therefore it's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I like about those pedals, I mean, they clock in at around $70. So you can even if you can even test them, and if you don't like them, you just sell them off, and it's not like a massive investment. It's still a lot of money, but $70, it's way below what a new pedal usually costs. So yeah, props to TC for kind of dropping those much more affordable pedals. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to
Yeah,
see and hear what Andy thinks about it. Yeah.
I love the original. It's, really cool pedals. Cool on bass as well, the original I found. I've used that on bass in the past. It's really cool.
Oh wow.
All right.
I've not yet done it on bass, but I will. I
think we
shall. I shall
yeah,
put it on
yeah,
bass.
yeah.
I shall think of you. I can't figure out why Mikey's picture. Sorry, it's freaking me out. Mikey's webcam quality has just gone through the roof, and
Well, in a good way.
yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
You're as good quality as I am,
Oh,
and yet
fantastic.
Dan is still
Fantastic. Okay, good.
potato-y, and I feel bad about
I
that. Maybe
just-
that's something I've done.
I just saw a question come up on screen about someone saying they wanted to hear what the Angry Rhubarb sounds like with the Mojo Mojo.
Yeah.
So there you go. When
Wow.
you get one turn up, you can plug one into the other. Yeah, I want to know what an Angry Mojo Rhubarb combination would sound like. So this is a question you can answer when that Mojo Mojo turns up.
I shall, Mark. I shall.
Plug one into the other and see what's up.
What I found with the Angry Rhubarb, I think it would stack well. I didn't stack it in my video, but I think you'd have even more control over that mid range. I don't know. I just wanted to stack it with something. I just decided not to in that video because I was lazy.
That'll be interesting. If you stack the Angry Rhubarb and the Mojo Mojo, what do you think would come out? Like the Angry Mojo Junior? Is that the offspring of both?
Angry Mojo, Angry Joe Bob,
The Joe Bob.
The Joe Bob.
the Mangry Joe Bob, the Mangry Joe Bob.
Oh no, I've not had enough sleep for this. I've just realised.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I've got so many questions to Mikey because but this is something we got to save for later in the show because I wanted to know like what kind of pedals do you use and what kind of pedals you take as a starting point to kind of shape your own Redbeard creations. But let's save that for later and just stick with Mojo Mojo new pedal. And Andy, do you have the original one? Because I would love to hear an A/B comparison.
I do have the original one, and I will be doing an A/B comparison in the video.
Thank you very much.
Because only an idiot wouldn't, right?
That is right. Lazy idiot. An idiot that
Yes,
wouldn't stack like a pedal,
lazy
he's laying
/
around
idiot.
anyways.
Dan, what are you drinking this evening, sir? That's a very orange drink you have in your hand.
You're always asking me the same question, and
That
almost
looks
every
like
night
that
it's
looks
something
like
different.
power. That looks like power steering fluid to me, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, it's nothing but
Out of a
carrot
vo-
juice.
Carrot
Out of
juice.
a Volkswagen, I believe.
No, that's pure carrot
Out of
juice.
a 2002 Volkswagen. Bloody good year for power steering fluid it was. So yeah, to your good health, sir.
Cheers.
And yeah, cheers. Mikey, are you also on power steering fluid, or are you more of a brake fluid kind of guy?
I'm more of a water kind of guy right now. This is water with a rehydration tablet, an effervescent rehydration tablet,
Oh my goodness.
dissolved inside. Yeah, man. I don't mess around. And
Hell
I like
no.
to have my electrolytes up here at all times. Otherwise,
Right.
I'm just not living my best life.
Dan, have you got more gear for us? I think you've got 3 picks this week. Let's get through them.
No.
Is
I
that what
didn't.
you've got?
That is basically all I got. Yeah.
In that case, let's go to my pick of the week. And Mikey, I'm going to make sure that you don't disappear now. Hang on. Let me just
Okay,
show
do
him.
your best here. Don't
Don't
mess
gotta
this
put
up.
that there. There's all kinds of buttons to press. So I've got some very cool gear to share with you.
Andy's pick of the week.
So first up, I have where is it?
Where
I
are
have a little
you?
pedal
There's
from
2
TC
down.
Electronic. It's called the Mojo Mojo Paul Gilbert edition. It's a new pedal. I'll just fill you in on it. It's like a Mojo Mojo, but it's been Paul Gilbertized, signaturized, some might say.
Do you know what I heard? I heard that it's got a switch on it that goes to 11. I believe I heard that somewhere.
I don't know where you heard
And-
that, but it's probably true. I
if
got
I'm
a
not mistaken,
yeah.
it's purple in color. It's purple in color, and when stacked with the Redbeard Effects Angry Rhubarb, it creates a tone known as the Mangry Jobub. So I heard that.
Yeah, so it's purpley. Hang on, let me. This is probably not as funny as I'm imagining it to be, but it feels that funny. Hang on,
This
there,
is
stick
great.
it there.
This is great. This is
So,
great.
the
All we
Mojo
need is,
Mojo
like, the
Paul
Benny Hill
Gilbert
music.
edition.
Yeah,
We need the
it's
Benny Hill
as
music. just
purple
to bend
as the
underneath and just
PGM
go.
300.
Hang on, wait a minute.
Wait, yeah,
Just to show off a little bit. Hang on, there we go. Let's put
Yeah.
that there.
it fits perfectly to the PGM 300.
It does fit perfectly.
FRM, sorry, FRM 300. not the
I call it
Hold
the
on.
PGM
I feel like I
300.
need to do. I feel like I need to do this. Hang on. Let's see if I can change. Can't change it. Can't do it. I'm gonna try and change the. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
yeah.
we've all gone purple. Right. So that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Mojo
very- it
Mojo
says it's
Paul
purple, but it
Gilbert
doesn't make it purple.
Overdrive. Yeah, that's my pick for this week.
Oh well. Okay. There we
Sarang is
go.
in the chat just freaking out that Dan made an Ibanez
Yeah.
mistake. Sorry. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, that's my first pick, but it's not my only pick. Okay, I've got more than that. So let's go to the next one. The next one is
All right.
this little pedal called the Angry Rhubarb.
Nice. That's so new.
I can't believe it. I can't
So-
believe it. I'm so honoured to have been nominated.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, I'm just trying to plug my own video. But the Angry Rhubarb is a new overdrive pedal, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So I'm not going to try and further this silly joke by talking about it, but it absolutely deserves to be one of my picks of the week. In a moment, Mikey, I don't know if you know this, we're going to play a game called Buy, Borrow, or Burn. And you have to choose which one of these you're going to buy, which one you're going to borrow, or which one you're going to burn. So
I have to ask you one quick question.
go on then.
One quick question. I can see a little graphic that someone's added to the frequency gain and the frequency knob that's between the two. And I'm like, what's that? Or is that a Photoshop error?
That is what you might call a Photoshop error, Michael.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Okay.
I'll have a word with the
thought,
guy that
what-
does my
what-
thumbnails.
I thought
Bob!
it looks like a really clever little.
Bob, yeah.
Bob, you're fired. Bob's been fired, everybody. If anyone wants the job as my Focus stand-in dummy, then I've got to quickly fix this Photoshop thing while everybody else is talking. Then in that case, I'll show a different picture. There we go. That's a picture
Oh,
that
wow.
that I took at the top of a mountain in Austria. If you listen to the audio version, this is great audio content. If you
Great
don't mind,
lighting.
Mikey, we'll talk about the Angry Rhubarb a little bit more in a moment.
Yep, no problem.
And I want to also ask you some questions along the line of why can't I pronounce Angry Rhubarb without falling over my own tongue? So we'll get to the interesting questions
yeah,
like that
okay.
later. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the Angry Rhubarb. My final pick today is this guitar from Orange,
Okay.
which, Mikey, I know that you're a fan of the Orange. And
Love the orange, yeah.
this is what's it called? The OE1. It's a single cut, solid mahogany body, and a two-toned gold and ivory finish, which I think is awesome. It reminds me a little bit of the Admiral? No. Which one is it? The Music Man Armada. The Armada.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Armada going on. It's 22 frets, so it's it's a Les Paul style, but I think it looks brilliant. I love the over-the-top ornateness of it. Dan, thoughts?
Interesting guitar. I love the headstock with the big logo, and the binding is just wicked. The block inlays look great. I think it's like it's a matter of taste, but if you're into those quirky looks, I think that's pretty nice. These guitars are made in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So they come with a solid mahogany body, golden ivory finish. We've got a ebony fretboard with 12-inch radios, 22 frets. Yeah. What else? I mean, it's basically a quirky Les Paul with some cool pickups. I think it's got Filtertrons.
It can cut. They
And,
can. You can choose between Filtertrons or
all right.
P90s.
All right, okay. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
brings
I
us
think
on to the point that it
Flippertrons-
is custom made. It's the custom shop,
Yeah.
Orange custom shop. So they're not mass producing them. They are sorry, hang on. They are not that affordable. They're not that cheap. They're $4,000. Yeah, Mikey nearly lost his hat then.
Yeah.
Steam literally came out of my wallet and my ears.
So I wanted to bring this up as a discussion point. Do we think they're making a mistake by only bringing them out as 4K custom shop models? What's your thoughts?
Mikey?
I have an opinion on this. Do have an opinion on this. That's tricky because, you've got kind of like different entry points of what things cost. And, if you get something handmade in the UK, it's going to be 4 figures and it's going to be the thick end of $2,000 to $3,000. And if you get into like sort of, things like you can tell by that binding's beautiful, all the hardware, like the knobs look custom. So obviously you got some really premium pickups in and premium hardware, and it's like mother of pearl inlays, all that stuff. That stuff adds up. It costs money. So you pay for, I'm sure you're paying for what you get. I bet it's absolutely an amazing guitar to play. I don't think would be kidding themselves if they were pricing it to sell like 100,000 of them. It's like it's a high end item. And then if alternatively, I know they've done stuff with the bass, where I think that was made probably in Asia. And it's probably a lot more affordable. I imagine it was like £500, £600, £700 kind of guitar. Haven't seen one, haven't played one, haven't picked one up. But I imagine, the quality was more like closer in keeping with the budget instrument. And then, of course, so then you've got sort of somewhere down the middle where you get stuff made perhaps in Europe by CNC and, get the stuff shipped into the UK and built to finish. So this is like the high-end custom handmade by, I assume, 1 or 2 people max custom shop version. So it'll be limited numbers. And I guess that's the idea. They could sell loads of them. It's a beautiful looking guitar. I love the pickups, love the knobs. The knobs look great. I love the headstock. I think it's really cool. If it were me, I'd like to see it in some different color options. Obviously, it's backwards for me as well. I'm a lefty, so I can't even play the thing. But if it was the right way around, I'm surprised they didn't do an orange one, like a kind of orange sparkle or an orange even like an orange metallic over another finish, like where it's been worn away, like a relic one where it's like got sunburst underneath it or something cool like that. But I think it looks really cool. I'd play one if it was backwards. But there isn't. So.
Well, it's custom shop, so I'm sure for an extra $4,000 you can get one.
Yeah, exactly. Slip a tenner extras to someone, and I reckon one will turn up. But I think it looks really cool. But I can't see them selling 10,000 of the things. But what do I know?
I think it's more a head turner with the big price tag, with the steep price tag. It's more of a head turner compared to if they would have chosen to go with made in China or something and drop a $600 guitar with similar looks, but with maybe horrible feeling. The only downside that I see is that they kind of outprice themselves a little bit from the competition. Like if I compare that guitar to let's say a Duesenberg or something, I think they're pretty much the same level probably when it comes to build quality, and you probably get also a similar tone. So I don't know if it really needs to be a guitar around 4K to get that certain vibe and look. Put it that way, but maybe it's just a project for them. Yeah, maybe it's just like to show that they can do it, and maybe
it certainly
see how
seems
the
like a
reactions
passion
are.
project. Did either of you watch the video that Orange released?
I guess the difference with the Duesenberg thing though is that Duesenberg's they will still have more of a production line going on, where this I believe the person who's doing this, it's like a 1 or 2, like a 5-man operation tops. Like there's only a few people doing them, so it's like custom shop stuff where not many pairs of hands touches one of these. So even if Orange had an order for 10,000 of these, they're going to struggle to make them. So I imagine that there's if they'd be really stoked with selling 100 of these and be able to, actually work that production, because it's not that it's my understanding that the person making them, there's only a couple of people making them. So it's going to be really loads of attention to detail, made to highest possible sort of standard. I would have thought.
Yeah, the luthier is Jason Burns, and Adrian from Orange is the designer, or at least one of the designers. I don't know if he was solely the designer. It certainly sounds like that in the video when he says it. But I have to sit on the fence here because you two are kind of saying two different things, and I feel you're both right. I think that Orange have absolutely made the right decision in pricing this guitar at the best they could be, making it something truly exquisite, but also they are missing out on something. So I think a sensible move at some point in the future would be to do an overseas model that still comes in about $1,500 and maybe has the setup done in the UK or in Europe now, maybe. So get something built overseas and then stick all the stuff in it. But then you're talking about cheapening the brand, so maybe they wouldn't do the same color, So I think they could raise and turn a lot of heads with this model, and then release some other models, like you said, Mikey, something orange. But I would love to see that relic. I think that it looks like a 50s guitar that needs to be knocked around a little bit.
Yeah, send one to me for half an hour.
I'd love to see
I'll
how
take it up
that
the
guitar would
BMX
look
track,
like.
tow it around. take out the skate park.
Actually, it would be very orange if one did relic it, there would be orange underneath. That would be a very orange move. Oh my goodness, it's orange underneath. And they just didn't tell anybody.
Oh, you mean like the gold over orange finish? That would be nice.
Yeah, so if you accidentally took away some gold paint, by giving it to Mikey for 5 minutes, then it would be orange underneath.
Nice.
Same color as your drink, Dan.
Yep. Already emptied.
Okay. So people are already giving in their opinions on the chat for the buy, borrow, or burn. So I'm going to ask the question, should we buy, borrow, or burn stuff? Buy, borrow, or burn? Yeah, so Mike is going to be on top of absolutely everything tonight. Sorry, mate. And you're down. Oh, hello, mate. Hello down there.
That's all right.
So, buy, borrow, or burn, we've got the Paul Gilbert Mojo, the orange guitar, what's it called? The Angry, Mikey, what is it called?
Angry Rhubarb.
Angry Rhubarb, thank you very much. And what else did I pick?
Oh, the Guitar Summit, is that also?
No, the Guitar Summit's obviously. Yeah, that was it. Sorry, we had the same picks. My goodness, pressing buttons all over the place here. So we have 3 items this week, and I would love to know from our guest what he would do. See, it's like that naughty game where you kiss, marry, or unalive somebody. Buy, borrow, or burn. Mikey Demus, what would you do?
Ooh, all right, okay. I would buy the orange guitar because I'm pimping like that. I'm like, got so much money from working in the music industry. I'm going to buy that guitar. Right. What else? I'm going to borrow the Angry Rhubarb from myself. Or I borrowed yours, didn't I? I borrowed yours. So I borrowed the Angry Rhubarb from you. And I'm going to burn the TC Electronic Mojo because the competition must die, basically. So that's going to burn. You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
That's a joke. That's a straight up joke. Just tell the internet right now. I am kidding. The competition's
it's already a music radar.
Pedal. I want one.
It's now a music
radar.
About
these things.
Okay,
Mikey Demus says, "I want to kill that guy." No, come on. No, I'd gladly use any of that stuff. It all is great.
David from the chat.
Awful quiz. This is awful.
It is, isn't it? Dave from the chat would buy the Angry Rhubarb. There you go, mate. There's a sale for you. He'd borrow the orange and burn the Mojo. Lots of Mojo burning on today. So
nice. David Dillinger's got like a really cool looking classic car by the looks of his little icon.
He does.
So
hang on, let's bring it up again. What do you reckon that is?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. It looks American. Looks something fairly classic. I don't reckon he's got enough money left to buy an Angry Rhubarb, so he can borrow this one. If he's running that thing, it's probably cost him an arm and a leg, so he can borrow this one. There we go. David Dillinger, there you go.
Buzzle is going to buy the Angry Rhubarb, borrow the orange, bit too expensive, it looks great. Burn the pile of Mojos. I did not like them in the past. My goodness. What is wrong with you people?
A lot of hate for TC.
A lot of TC hate.
I can't believe it.
Burn the orange, buy Mojo
Burn the
Mojo,
orange,
borrow Angry Rhubarb
buy
from
Mojo
Fergie in
Mojo.
France. Thank you, mate.
Fair, okay, fair.
Dan,
That's always a
Daniel,
party
sir.
line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on then.
Yep.
We do this where Dan, you choose for me, mate. What would I do?
All right. Okay. You would definitely buy the Angry Rhubarb because you're a pedal fanatic. You would probably borrow the TC and burn the orange with, a tear in your eye.
Well, from having spoken to Mikey Demus, half of the team from Redbeard Effects tonight, I don't think I want to buy anything from him ever again. I think the guy's an absolute maniac.
He's right. Alternatively, though, I would say that you've seen the size of Adrian Thorpe, and if you don't buy it, you could be in trouble.
Okay,
So
I'm buying.
I think long and hard about your answer here, mate.
I'm buying 2 Angry Rhubarbs and a couple of Red Mists.
There we go.
Yeah, I would borrow the TC, and I'd have to burn the orange at this point because I can't afford it, even though that makes me sad. I get the feeling, Dan, you would buy the TC, you would borrow the Angry Rhubarb, and you'd burn the orange.
That is spot on, sir. But with the money I save from borrowing the Rhubarb and buying the TC Electronics, I would buy tickets for the Guitar Summit for Mikey, you, and me for 2022.
Hey,
Thanks, mate.
That's kind, isn't it? That's nice.
That's
Good
lovely.
of him. He's good, and he's a good un.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I am tempted to burn an Angry Rhubarb just to see what Thorpe does. I kind of want to poke the bear.
Do it. I mean, I'll make some killer content, literally.
Bloody well, I'd play it whilst it was burning, just so you know. But I can't.
Yeah.
My friend Steve would kill me, quite literally. All right. So any more burning and buying and stuff like that? We've got a Ultimate Guitar Will post. Independent builder wants to burn TC Electronic. Don't worry. We'll just gloss over this. Sarang, buy the Angry Rhubarb because tweakability. Borrow the Mojo Mojo because you got to have something purple, and burn the orange because I want to relic it. Good reason.
Nice take. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Buy the Angry Rhubarb, very good. Because tweakability is very tweakable. I would add that. It's an incredibly tweakable pedal.
Yeah. As I said in my video, I need 2 because I have 2 favorite settings or 2 kind of favorite regions, and I really want to have 2 now. So I will have.
Let's talk about your favorite settings. I want to know what your favorite settings are.
Okay. I can't remember roughly where it was, but about there. So I had. Oh no, it wasn't. It was about there. It was really poking up. Is that okay? Can you guys see that?
You're boosting sort of some mids, but it's boosting some high mids.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot from the post gain and a little bit of hairiness from the pre. That I
imagine
really
that's quite
loved.
a honky song. I imagine that's pretty honky.
It was really, really honky.
Nice.
Can you show us again, just for the podcast listeners? So what setting is that? Is it more a mild setting?
Oh, so as
Like
Mikey's told us, we've got 2 drives. So my pre-drive is set about a quarter, and then my frequency is some mids there, and the frequency gain is about 2 dB plus. That's where I kind of had it in the video.
Yeah.
And then post-drive is just over halfway. And I played that with a down-tuned...
That's a spicy meatball.
It was a spicy meatball. I played it with a Chapman ML3 in dropped C sharp, and it just killed. It just absolutely killed. I mean, we did say about playing some. I could play a clip. Should we try and play a clip?
Yeah, let's see how that works out.
I can try it. Hang on. Let's do that.
You can but try.
Well, there is no try. Only do. Look, here we go. I'll name that clip, and then what I'll do is I'll drag this in here, and...
Is this a dead air, effectively? There we go.
Yeah, I lied. The post drive was all the
Wow.
way up. But as you might agree, everybody, listeners, that was an amazing sound, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely divine. Divine sounds very paradynamic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, quite rhubarby as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit rhubarby around the corners. Very good.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the pedal. Not just saying that because you're here, mate. I'm very pleased, and you know that I would say if I didn't like it, and sadly or
Yeah, we just wouldn't
fortunately, I
talk
can't.
anymore if you didn't like it.
Yeah,
We just wouldn't talk anymore. It'd just be the end of our relationship, which would be fine. You know.
it would.
I know you
mean,
love it. I'm
There's
really
no Guitar
pleased.
Summit,
Really
so
pleased.
you can't get me.
Not,
I can't
not
get
yet.
it, you know, exactly.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right, let's do a little bit of chat with that chap, Mikey Demus, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give you a
Okay,
proper
let's do that.
introduction. There we go. We got to bring him back on. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, for the questions, Mr. Mikey Demus from Skindred and of course Redbeard Effects.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
All
how
right.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm doing really well. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here on Tuesday, the 8th of June, 2021.
You've been texting together today, doing Back to the Future quotes, and I've been waiting. Have I missed any yet? Because we were trying to catch each other on Back to the Future, and I'm wondering if you've thrown any
No,
in and
you-
I've missed any.
No. You had me, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've been running around like proverbial blue-arsed fly today, trying to get everything sorted for the big release, the big push over the top for the Angry Rhubarb. Obviously, I had loads of like last-minute things to do with the release, as per usual, and yeah, had all kinds of stuff to just finalize and finish. So I was on about several devices at once, dancing around. There's the illusion of having it all my stuff sorted, but it's not the case. Angry Rhubarb, all fruity gain and no crumble. I like it.
That's nice, Fergie in France. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed when I heard that you had lots of stuff left to do on the day of release. That made me feel like a normal human being. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
I've had all the big stuff done. It's just little things like, you know, being able to buy it on the website.
Just the small things.
All right.
Because, yeah, because there was this massive, I'll be honest, there was this massive, like, all these websites went down today. Like, there's this massive internet failure, and I was like, I just hadn't put photos up of the Angry Rhubarb, and yeah, they wouldn't let me. So I was like, oh, great, day of release. No one's going to be able to see the thing. But it all was fine in the end. It was all fine. It was all fine. It's all
Good.
fine. It's the illusion of having it together, and under the surface, you know, the duck's legs are going under the surface. There you go.
So I know Dan has some quite probing questions for you. We had some from the
Okay.
chat as well, because we want to talk. We don't know anything about building pedals and running a pedal business, and out of the three of us, you are the most qualified right now. So
Wow.
yeah, I know.
guess so. Okay. Okay.
So I
Weird.
just want
Who'd have thought
to
it?
shout
Okay.
out to the chat. If people are in the chat, they have any questions for Mikey, drop them now, and we will ask them at some point during the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But one thing I want to know, if I may kick off the conversation, is this is in fact the Angry Rhubarb Overdrive Mark II. And you said in a
Correct.
message to me there was a funny story about the Mark I. Is it possible to share that story or a little flavor of that story?
Absolutely, yeah. So the story of the Mark II versus the Mark I, it's not a million miles away from what happened with the Red Mist. What typically happens is I'll either go to Thorpe with an idea for a pedal, or he'll come to me with an idea for a pedal. And what happened with the Angry Rhubarb was he'd come up with this idea, this concept for a pedal, and he was like, I think it could be really cool for Redbeard Effects to release this pedal where, you know, you have two overdrives flanking an EQ thing. I thought it was a great idea. And he sort of, you know, he obviously labored over this design and was really happy with it, came to me, and I sort of went, it's all right. And so then I said, do a bit more, do a bit of this, do a bit of this. Yeah, I've got a death wish, I swear. I was like, yeah, it's cool. The idea's got. He went away. I don't think he actually changed anything about it. I think he just came back and just showed me the same pedal. I was like, yeah, it's much better now. Because in my mind, I'd gone, oh yeah, just do this. No, there were a couple of little tiny tweaks made to the original. We went through a whole different load of names what we were going to call it. It's been named a few different things, and we kind of were like, the name's not right. The name's not right. It needs to be. The name can be better. So a combination of a few tweaks to the circuit and tweaks to the name in general and tweaks to the pedals identity, we sort of landed at the Mark II thing. And keeping with the Red Mist, because we called that the Red Mist Mark IV, because there were loads of iterations of that we went back and forth about. And obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan as well, so it was like Episode 4, Mark
After
4,
4.
start on the Mark 4. People asking questions about it. It's just a funny thing, and sort of we carried on the tradition with this Mark II, because the Mark 1 is just this elusive thing that sort of existed but sort of didn't. But it's just a series of tweaks that get us to what we're both happy with, basically. You got to realize it takes a lot of guts to look at Thorpe and go, yeah, it's not right. You know what I mean? Because he's a big guy, dude. He's a big guy, and you kind of like going back to him, going, yeah, it needs something else. It's always difficult, So there's a lot of Mark IIs and Mark IIIs.
Honesties, yeah. I like it. I like the fact that there's a mark on there. It makes me curious. But thank you. I want to know. I want to know what other names. Like, could you just drop one that it was kind of? I don't want to probe too deeply, but.
We were, for the longest time, considering calling it the Redbeardium drive.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously all the pedals have this iconic kind of oh, you've got a great big piece of shrapnel on the bottom of yours. It's got this sticker on the bottom where it says powered by Redbeardium, which is this element that Thorpe and I sort of invented, which is kind of like, the story behind that is there's obviously an element called rubidium, which is this highly reactive material. And so we kind of thought, well, why don't we change the name of that slightly, and then we can say that our pedals are kind of highly reactive. I can kind of see it there. I don't know if you can see it. Highly reactive. Ooh, yeah. Highly reactive. So we made up this element on the periodic table. It doesn't really exist, but it's got a couple of numbers on there which are like private in-jokes for some stuff between him and I. And yeah, so basically we were going to call the drive the Redbeardium drive, but we just figured, I don't know, it just feels like it didn't have enough oomph. We just felt like we wanted it to be the something, the other pedals we released had been like the something, and it kind of like, it's a cool theme, and I just felt like that kind of had a bit more of a like memorable thing. And so yeah, we knew we wanted to make a pink pedal. We knew we wanted to make it pink. We knew we wanted the drive to be pink, mainly just because it looks, not only does it look really great on like an enclosure, but like it, like, you like annoying people, like these kind of like boomery types who are like, I'll never play a pink pedal. It's like, all right, then, like whatever. I think a pink thing looks really cool, and if it annoys people, then I kind of like that too. And yeah, we were like, well, what is pink? And we went through all kinds of things like, what's pink? I think about, because obviously there's been a lot of pink pedals as well. Like there's obviously, I think the JHS where there was like the Pink Panther delay. I think maybe they even had to change the name of that to the Lucky Cat, actually, or something like that. But anyway, there's lots of pink pedals, and you're kind of like, what can we call it that's pink, that's kind of memorable? And we were throwing ideas around and landed on Rhubarb, and then we decided to make it the Angry Rhubarb, and thus it was a thing.
Oh.
For what it's worth, I think you made the right choice. I think the Redbeardium drive was a less cool name.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. We were sort of happy with it for a while, and then it was like, I had one of those like, no, back to the drawing board moments. We had one of those moments when we realized that the guy who originally played Marty McFly just wasn't cutting it, so we had to reshoot the entire film with Michael J. Fox because it just wasn't cricket.
So Eric, it's the Eric Stoltz of the acting world, of the pedal world. Sorry.
It could have been. But
Gosh,
thankfully
what
we went with
been?
MJ, and the rest is history, or the future. Ooh. This just writes itself, doesn't it? This is great.
Deep in that.
It's almost like we pre-planned this. We haven't.
I just didn't have my pre-show coffee. It's showing. I'm just
boy.
nodding and waving. Dan has some great questions, so please, Dan, ask these amazing questions.
Oh,
Okay.
you're putting me on the spot here with already, giving them the attribute of being amazing. Actually, I just wanted to go a little bit away from like just that one single pedal, the Angry Rhubarb, and go back to kind of what does it take to create a pedal. Like there are so many parameters to consider, from the size of the pedal, how it's supposed to sound. Is there a market for the pedal itself? Is there something unique about it? What's the price point? Can you source the parts in what quantities? I mean, there's so many questions. Like, could you give us a little bit of a lowdown on how you internally decide on those factors? Like, where do you start? Like you said that Adrian kind of confronted you with that cool idea to have that parametric overdrive. How do you take it from there? It's a great idea, but so many people, they just struggle with taking a great idea and kind of getting to a point where it materializes. So how do you approach that?
Okay, so in the instance of the Angry Rhubarb, what Thorpe tends to do is sort of, if he comes up with an idea, he'll make it happen in a circuit. He'll create a circuit, and then we'll order a really small quantity of the circuit board to sort of to see, and then propagate it to see if it's any good, and tweak it from there. Really, a lot, lots of things sort of start as life as something else. I know for a fact, like the Fallout Cloud that he did, for example, was like him reimagining the Big Muff, from the ground up, and kind of taking the Big Muff to pieces. And how could I make this better? How could I make this like more stable, like fix the problems, do that kind of thing? And so a lot of pedals come from that. Like, it's got an inherent problem with it, and how do you fix it? Rather than just like, our vibe isn't really like, I want to make a really true to form clone of anything. Like, I'm not really interested in doing that. There's so many companies and builders who make you a Klon or a Tube Screamer or something, that's like got its own take on stuff, and people do really well with that. But it's just even from a marketing point of view, it's not something I'm really interested in, is like piggybacking on that kind of thing. And I'm not really interested in like, how do you even begin to like market something, that's like you can get in 10 different iterations by other people. So I don't know, it's not as much fun really. And from a design point of view, it's like, I want to do something that's different, and I want to do something that's a bit weird. And Thorpe is really similar mindset. He's not really interested in doing like copies of stuff. I know that when he was really learning his craft, he was sort of building clones and stuff like that. And that's what kind of gets you into, any creative thing is like you learn by copying, and that's totally cool. Like, any creative thing is like you copy your heroes, and then by the time it's gone through your filtration, it comes out as your own thing. It's not like trying to pass off someone else's work as your own is not okay. But copying someone's work and kind of like, mangling it and doing different things, I think, that's just creation 101. Like, anyone who's not doing that, who says they're not doing that, it's not the case. And so, like, first I guess it comes with an idea, like, and having an idea is a hard enough thing for a semi-original idea for a pedal. Typically it would be like Thorpe designing a circuit, and then it coming back to, then us having a pedal that we can both test and go, what do we like about it? What would we change about it? Do we think we could sell a couple of these to various people? And, the litmus test for that really is like, if I like it and he likes it, then chances are there's more people out there who'd like it. I feel like you kind of got to sort of trust your gut a little bit about that thing. And, I feel like it's like with anything, it's like writing songs or anything like that. Like, you always go diving for pearls, but sometimes you get clams. You know what I mean? Like, you not every single thing you can do can be like a runaway success. And we're only 3 pedals in. It's our 3rd pedal, and it's all gone really well. But I imagine that you can't release. I would imagine, typically an overdrive is quite a popular choice for a pedal for someone to buy, versus if this pedal turned out to be a ring modulating, like sawtooth vibrato bit crusher, it's more niche. Is it cool? yeah, it's awesome, cool, but like you're not necessarily going to move hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, you know. So the design is kind of like, do we think we could sell an overdrive like this? So yeah, why not? You know, I think that's a doable thing. So that's, you know, that we've got loads of weird ideas that are like on the back burner, because it's like, well, we have to be able to make it worth our while to push something. And then it's kind of like, you want something that people will love and people will talk about and people will, you know, be inspired by. So that's a massive part of the like design. Should we, shouldn't we? And then physically from there, it's literally just test, thumbs up, thumbs down, tweak, argue, agree. And then a lot of the time it's conceptualizing, you know, like a name for the thing. How's it going to look? You know, imagine it's a real thing. And then typically from there, it's like, that's when things start to really sort of sink or swim. You know, we've got about 3 or 4 pedals on the simmer at the moment that are like, have names, have circuits, have like, you know, an idea of what we want to do with them. It's literally just not wanting to bombard ourselves onto the marketplace and just take our time and put the proper effort into you know, each release as we want to go, you know.
How do we have to imagine the testing, like prototyping? Are you sitting together with Thorpe in a room and you know, check out various like iterations of the same pedal, or is it like, okay, you have like one, like let's say Mark 1 of that pedal, and then you test it personally at home, and then you give them some feedback, you know, I need a shape differently, and I need another switch, or I need another pod to kind of dial in something. How is that process to kind of, you know, immediately
so
kind of change stuff?
So yeah, so I'll typically I'll go to like Redbeard and Thorpe HQ, which is near Oxford, and I'll go up there and we will go through things physically in person together. Sometimes I'll bring stuff away to kind of play with, that kind of thing. But you know, we're very much sort of joined at the hip with this operation, to be honest. That sort of, we speak every day one way or another about the shape of things with Redbeard and what we're doing and what's next and what's today and what happened yesterday and da 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 da. It's pretty full on. But in terms of actual physically testing, yeah, when COVID was really, you know, when lockdown was happening, we weren't able to sort of congregate anywhere. But once restrictions were a bit eased, it made it a lot easier to go up and do stuff. So yeah, I'll be in person testing stuff out. He typically like gets it to a point where it can be tested. And there was another question you asked as well. This is what you asked. You're asking me. I would say that it's not, because I actually build these things and I help design them from the ground up. I'm completely on track with the limitations of their design, that kind of thing. And not to make it sound like things are limited, but it's like we're not in a position where we're like, let's give this thing 14 knobs. It's like, how do you make this thing absolutely kick massive amounts of ass using 5 or 6 knobs and 1 or 2 foot switches, and that is it. But because, you know, just from a manufacturing point of view, we've got it to a point where we can scale stuff with things as they are. That's like a long and tedious design and engineering discussion we could have, but it's not the case of let's put 1 billion switches on this or 1 billion knobs. It's very much like, how can we make it work within the constraints of the pedal we've designed, and if it doesn't work on 5 or 6 knobs, then maybe it's not right yet. And that's not to say down the line we're talking about doing like, you know, maybe doing like a deluxe edition of like of a Honey Badger, for example, which is like a bigger pedal and has more stuff going on. But you know, that's just ideas we're throwing around. At this point, we're still at the point where we can design and create a series of effects that work in this format, and you know, they'll have 5 knobs or 6 knobs and 1 or 2 switches, maybe a toggle, you know. But I found that having too many options isn't necessarily a good thing with these things. And you know, I don't believe that it makes you more creative. I don't believe that it makes you more musical necessarily, having like tons and tons and tons and tons of options. It's more like, how can we strip it down to like bare essentials? You know, I think there's a line for me between like average sort of drive pedal where it's got a tone knob, which sort of makes it either go thin and bright or fat and muddy.
Okay.
There's a world between that and like absolutely pages and pages of menus on a digital modeler. There's a world between that where it's like, I want some tweakability, but I don't want it to be like necessarily super easy, but I don't want it to be like I need to get the manual out. And and this pedal is probably the closest thing we've done to being complicated, because not a lot of people have used the parametric EQ before potentially, and it's like, I don't get it, but it's actually really easy once you know. It's just it's easy peasy.
I think you nailed it. I think I even said in my video that it's a simple pedal. It's not simple as in doesn't do much. It's simple as in easy to operate, and that means that even if someone doesn't know what that EQ does, you can just play around with the knobs and it will tell you instantly. And with the pre-drive, just to take that as an example, the pre-drive and the post-drive, they're two very different drives. So you don't have to use one; you can use the other. And I think I interpreted that as you coming from a stage live show musician, sort of playing a show and something not being quite as you like it, so you might want to sort of bend down and tweak it a little bit. And if there's too many knobs and too much going on, then that could screw up the show. So is
absolutely
that a factor?
Absolutely. I've always been pedals in front of a tube amp kind of person, and for me, in a live setting or in a recording setting or in a rehearsal setting, don't really want to be getting into complex stuff. I want it to be able to be like, that knob does that knob does that. I'm in, I'm out, like it not being really complicated. And there's some companies that make like complex stuff that you really do have to sit and get it right and go, don't touch it, it's perfect. But I don't really want any of our stuff to be like that. I want it to be like, every time you turn a knob, it's fun and something fun happens. And, you're either like, I like that, or I'm not sure, I'll come back to that, rather than, I don't understand this. It's too complicated. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I want to be able to like bend down mid-gig and go, this needs a little bit more 2K. I'm feeling like I need to feel this in my fillings.
We've got a question from the chat, which is kind of based on what you're talking about. And how did you decide on the pedal size, so the enclosure size? Because people are moving towards smaller pedals. I would say the Redbeard Effects pedals are a standard size, an expected size for a pedal. I wouldn't say they're large, I wouldn't say they're small, I'd say they're an expected size. Was that a factor? Did you ever think about doing micro pedals, or?
We totally thought about every element, because what we did was, it was more like, what does the circuit look like? What does the PCB inside the circuit board look like inside when it's propagated? What's the smallest that you can make? Because all our insides, just so you know, are like, they're through hole PCB. They're soldered by hand. So that means things have to be a certain size. And so they typically, our circuits turn out to be a certain size. They work on a certain sort of framework. And so what's the smallest pedal size you can make around that to save real estate on a pedal board, but whilst also occupying enough space where it's not like it rolls over if you tread on it funny. Like, I know Thorpe's kind of a little bit anti mini pedals, just because he's got like, I don't know, size 14 feet or something. So, he's like, he's gonna roll the thing over or break it or that kind of thing. I wasn't against the idea of mini pedals, but again, it's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's nothing wrong with it being this sort of standardy kind of size. We were kind of like, you look at like the best pedal design of all time, like a Boss pedal, and you think, well, what did they do? What could we do differently? And obviously these are like handmade in the UK, and our methodology is completely different, but we wanted to make it out of something fairly lightweight that was still strong. So it's like, the enclosure is aluminium, so it's lightweight. Little things like that. More so than the main two things were like pedal board real estate, and also like, how big are these things when they're in a box, and they're in boxes inside a box that you ship them around the world, and keep your carbon footprint small. Because it really pisses me off when I get a pedal from someone and it's like, it's this pedal rattling around in this big cardboard box. I think it's lazy. I don't think there's any need for it. We have our boxes made to match like the size of the pedal, basically. So it's nothing like rattling around in there. And so when there's like 24 of those in a box, you know what I mean? Rather than you're not shipping air around the world, which is just like no good for the environment. It's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of space. So yeah, we thought about every little thing about that, about these pedals. Is like, are they light? They're not taking up any more room than they have to. They're not like small for the sake of being small. At this point, you know, it's just they were engineered to like work with the best with our methodologies that we were using. So hand built, hand soldered through hole PCBs. You know, that we're considering making the change to doing stuff to SMD, which is surface mount stuff. So it's all kind of, you know, things can potentially come in smaller, just because, you know, these things are moving at a rate where it's like not entirely sure that we can keep up with the demand. So it might be that stuff moves to SMD, in which case, you know, you could potentially even change the size of the enclosure again. But at this point, that's what we wanted them to be, like pretty much standard pedal design. You know, we took into account things like, you know, a lot of people would argue that they wanted top mounted jacks. We listened, we did that. You know, didn't want to be one of those pedals that had side mounted jacks. It just seemed like you're asking for trouble on a pedal board. It takes up space that you don't need it to. You know, that kind of thing. Like the Mojo, I think.
Well, I'm glad
Gilbert,
we burned it.
Yeah. No, just little things like that. It's like, you know, you kind of have to think what do people people popularly, you know, seem to want on a pedal. I didn't get the feeling that people were like, if it's not the size of, you know, a Matchbox, I'm not interested. You know, I want it, you know, people still want to stand on a thing that has some presence, I think. And, you know, it's sort of from a design point of view as well. If I wanted it to look like you can see what it is from a pedal board photograph, or like, you know, from back here, like didn't want to be like, what is it? You know, I love design, but I wanted the names of them to be like, to stand out and be like, I can see what it is, so that when you see it, you know, on a pedal board, you don't have to wonder, you know, what it is. Just little things like that we thought about, you know.
That's
pretty cool.
There's a lot of insight in there. There's a lot of things that I you know, don't really think about when I unbox a pedal and say.
I'm giving the game away. I need to say less. I'm giving it all away. Giving away all the tricks.
No, it's not like new information. It's just a lot of common sense that I hadn't thought about. You know.
Well, it's little things as well. Like, so when we were deciding about packaging, it's like wanted to make all the packaging as recyclable as possible. So it's like, you know, I think it's either has been recycled or, you know, it's all recyclable. And also it's like I didn't want to deal with things like manuals. So it's like, because it's just another thing to spend money on for people to potentially like lose, throw away, whatever. I know some people would like a sort of physical manual, but all our manuals are digital, and you can get the manual by like, there's a QR code on every box you can't really see because it's like, there we go. There we go. Like that. There's a QR code that says, where's my manual? And it's there. So if you scan that with your phone, it brings up the manual, brings up your manuals, and basically it's just there forever with any luck, as long as the internet's working. As long as not every internet website goes down like it did today. But yeah, that's the idea. Was just like, again, smaller carbon footprint, you know, like don't ship around a bit of paper around the world. Like, just people don't really need that stuff. We don't include little rubbery feet in the bottom of our pedals like some people do.
Oh,
just like people just put Velcro on it, or, you know, deal with it. You know, it's like, it's just another thing to like end up in landfill, which I'm not really into. So it's like, you know, just stuff like that. You can't not think about now. I think, you know, I want to make sure all our stuff's like recyclable and, you know, that kind of thing. It's important, you know.
It's great to hear that you got that responsible approach. And, you know, for some people, it might be a little bit like a my way or the highway kind of way of thinking. But on the other hand, I mean, if your name or, you know, your brand is basically on the pedal, I mean, then your attitude should be behind it. And I highly respect that. So,
yeah. Oh, thanks. Cool, yeah. Well, I mean, it costs more money. Like the recycled stuff costs more money, but it's like, yeah, I don't think it's, I don't think you really have a choice, you know. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. Everyone has a duty to do their bit, and this is just a tiny, tiny little thing. You know, it's nothing in the big scheme of things, but it's just like, even like the little bags that our stickers and stuff come in. You know, all the, like the case candy that comes with the box candy. Sorry, a couple of stickers. There's like a key ring, and that's kind of, even the little baggy thing. They're biodegradable. I was like, they have to be biodegradable.
Oh,
I just
wow.
hate the idea of like there being like, yeah, I hate the idea of there being like plastic bags like going into landfill that like we're responsible for, that like, you know, we spend money on for no reason for someone to eventually just chuck away. It's just, yeah, it's not cool. So I'm not down with it. Not down with it.
It is kind of senseless anyway, because as you said, I'm not a manual person. I just kind of put them to one side and twiddle about. That probably should be my channel tagline, actually. But
send me a pedal and I'll twiddle it about.
Don't send me a manual, because I'll just throw it away. We had some more questions for the chat. We'll go into those in a second. But Dan, I wrote down some of the stuff that we spoke about earlier, and I know that Mikey's covered a lot of stuff in the chat that he's doing a rather good job of managing, because I feel like I'm lacking a little bit today. But one thing I wanted to know about was, and Dan and I spoke about, was deciding the distribution. So how do you decide to sell just through your website or through a few dealers, or how does that work?
Well, again, we started off small, and I'll be honest. When I decided I'll come back to this. I will do a massive tangent. I have this thing where I answer the question and I go, but another thing I'll go off on when I come back. I will come back, I promise. If I don't, remind me to come back, bring it back, bring it back. Okay. When I decided I wanted to start a pedal company, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what I was doing. I had all these ideas. All I had was like pedal design ideas, or like how they looked or what they might sound like. I didn't really have any idea of how to get those ideas into a tangible thing that you can hold in your hand. I went to Thorpe for some advice. I've known Thorpe for some time, and he really liked the ideas I was having, and was like, I want to do this with you. Let's partner up on this. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, couldn't have asked for a better scenario, really. I've just sort of, become like business partners with like probably like the most important UK pedal builder, like hands down. Like, so really stoked with that. And yeah, basically, we sort of piggybacked our operations onto the way Thorpe Effects does stuff. So from like build methodologies and like just the whole structure of how to make it work. But yeah, I guess what we did was, we didn't know how successful these pedals were or were not going to be. So it was like, we committed to doing initial runs of things, and we approached some dealers, to basically stock some of our stuff. None of it was like huge, ridiculous orders, because this is all like essentially boutique stuff. Not that has a lot of meaning anymore, but it's not, it's not mass produced. We don't produce masses and masses of these. They're sort of, at this point, they're produced in the hundreds rather than in the thousands, and so, yeah, we approached a load of dealers in the UK. We hopped onto some of Thorpe's existing dealers. We also just took a gamble and went to NAMM in 2020, in the beginning of 2020, which was probably, some people might think I was a bit premature, because we'd only been around for, we'd only launched about 3 or 4 months prior with our first pedal, the Red Mist. And they were like, right, we're going to go to NAMM in January and launch the Honey Badger and just have like 2 pedals, boom, boom, like, which is what we did. And obviously met loads of really cool people in NAMM and made loads of good relationships, got on board with more dealers. Again, small early days for Redbeard, just, getting more of an international dealer base set up. And then obviously the pandemic happened, whoosh, lockdown, COVID, where, no one knows what that's going to look like. So I basically, a lot of people sort of froze their operation. We kind of like, were sort of like, just waiting to see what happened with dealers and so on. Thankfully, orders continued to go out. We sold stuff direct. Obviously, we've always sold stuff direct. And then over time, basically, Thorpe was in chats with Mass Distro in the USA about going on board with them, and that's something that they decided to do together. And they took Redbeard on as well, which is fantastic. So we literally just in launching the Angry Rhubarb today, it's Mass Distro sort of first welcome to the family kind of thing, which is really awesome. And they look after all kinds of really cool builders. They do obviously Redbeard Effects. They do 1981, Alexander pedals, I believe they do. Spaceman, Ranger Effects, I think, in the UK. And ourselves. There's a bunch of others. There's a load of stuff. They do some really cool stuff. They do GFI. They do a load of cool stuff. So they're working with some really cool brands. And yeah, it's been a real shot in the arm for us, really, of just like streamlining and taking us up to that next level of just getting our stuff out there. And again, it's like it's just there's a line between overshooting what you're able to do and just and keeping things small. But obviously, we want to be successful. We want to sell these things. We want people to love them. We want people to play them and tell other people about them. We want to be a contender. I'm not messing around. I'll be quite honest. Like I want these things to do well. Of course I do. That's just like good business sense. So I'm really lucky and I'm really grateful that all the mechanics and all the chances and all the possible good luck things that a person could possibly ask for to be handed to do this, I've been afforded, which is just absolutely madness. I couldn't ask for a better situation, really. It is early days for us. We're still, we're things are consistent. We sell stuff like globally at this point. The company's not even 2 years old, and we're selling stuff globally. And we have an international dealer base through a really kick-ass distributor, which is insane. I can't even. I'm really stoked on it. And I have Redbeard Effects to thank for all that, because we have got to a place which would have taken me on my own probably about 10 years to figure out on my own. I didn't have to make all the mistakes that companies like Thorpe did early on. They made the mistakes for me, and so we knew what to avoid when we were releasing stuff. We knew how to get straight to talk to this person, use this service, this is the place to get parts from, don't mess around with these people, blah 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 blah. That guy's a good guy, don't mess with her, she's crazy, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. We just skipped a load of nonsense, jumped over straight to things being awesome. So that's great. Basically, I think I've probably tangented a little bit there. I think probably.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine. Yeah. It's absolutely fine. It's it told the story, but it's funny talking to you now, because Mikey and I have talked before in another video, and back then you seemed like you were not in over your head, but certainly like you were being led, and you felt as if you were learning second by second. And now talking to you, you seem grounded, you seem in control, you seem to have a plan, you seem to know what you're talking about. And I'm wondering,
wow.
I'm wondering if you feel the same way.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I guess there's a lot more confidence with what I do with other stuff. Because when I came to this business idea, I was totally green, and I had a lot of, mentorship from other people. I had a lot of people working in the industry that really helped me out with stuff. And I've, since taken all this knowledge, and I'm helping a couple of people set up some different businesses, just with the stuff I've learned. And, people come to a thing without any understanding of how something works. And it can be a bit of a sort of a gatekeeper scenario, where it's like you need to know the right people to kind of be allowed in. And as I said, I've been really lucky to know some of the right people for stuff, and I enjoy having some really good relationships with the right people in this industry, which is fantastic. I think probably when we last spoke, it was like last year, wasn't it? And I think that the pandemic was still such a fresh thing. I think I was probably freaking out about a lot of things in my life, to be honest with you. And just this time of being in one place for a long time has been very grounding, and getting to grips with what I do for a living, and being a bit more, having more confidence in the things that I do, and that being okay, has been an incredible experience the last 18 months. It's been learned a lot about the world and my life, and the different things I'm interested in and passionate about. And other people, and and yeah, I find myself where I am, a bit more, a little bit smarter, a little bit more realizing that I know nothing about anything, and somewhere in between is where I find myself. I just, yeah, you put me on a good day. I think last time I probably I might have been hungover last time we talked. Actually, there's a good chance I was.
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
I was hungover. Yeah, no wonder I felt like I didn't know what the hell was going on. I think I'd been up all night on the sauce. Oof.
But it's certainly not a criticism of past Mikey. It's just an observation that current Mikey
That's all right.
looks almost zen in comparison.
Oh, thank you. I feel zen. It's this chair. I've got a new chair. That's all it is.
Ooh, must have sold a few pedals then. In that case, Mikey, to go on from that question, what is the advice that the current Mikey Demus would give to someone who is going on a little adventure?
Ooh. Well, I guess first and foremost, I think the thing that I found quite debilitating early on was it took for somebody else to go, you are able to do this. Like, I taught myself out of doing various different endeavors in the past, and just because, of having a mindset of not knowing where to start and not knowing who to ask, and probably not having and probably lacking some self-belief in that you could do a thing. If and the truth is, if you have the resources and the people and the help and the support, then you can put anything you set your mind to, really, within reason. I mean, there's not a lot of chance of me being like an astronaut or going to the moon, that kind of thing. That's not necessarily a goal of mine. That's not a goal of mine. It might be for someone else, but I was at a point where I was there was a time in my life when if someone said, you should start a pedal company, I would have been like, no, that won't work. How could I I wouldn't even know where to begin. No one would buy them, blah, 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 blah. I taught myself, into it not being a thing. And so I would tell someone now that talk is bullshit, basically. And there is a way around things. And with the right support, with the right guidance, with the right, mentor or support, asking the right questions to the right people, then you can do anything that you really put your mind to if it's something you're passionate about. I mean, I never made the connection in my mind that I like pedals, I could make pedals, and that would be a thing. I just was like, I like pedals. I didn't even conceive that it would be that's something you could do. In the same way that when I was 15, I didn't think that playing the guitar, love playing the guitar, that is something that you could do. That is something that you could do, for a living. I would have been I was like, no way. I'm going to go to university and, I don't know, write essays. And that's going to be what a terrible, that sounds terrible. I can't imagine anything worse. And so just having that kind of belief, that self-belief of this is the thing that you could do. Whatever it is, if it's something you're really into, then there can be a way for you to make it work for you, and I am living proof of that. It sounds really cheese, but it's it's true. I think you never know what you're capable of until you have a crack at doing it, and just being open to giving things a go. I think not learning that kind of I could do a thing. I think that's the greatest gift, is when you realize that I could do a thing. Oh my God, that's the greatest gift. And giving that to someone else who you can see them going through the same the same loops of nah, I can't do that. And when you can see them beginning to see the possibility of maybe I could do that, that is the greatest gift to give someone. Honestly, it's just watching someone's horizons just go expand is wicked. And I would highly talk up doing that for anyone else, and encourage people to expand their horizons. And it sounds I realize that sounds like a really oh yeah, I'll just but it has to, everything starts with a single step, and it's just having that belief, or just the faith in just, I reckon I could have a go at that. And all too often in our lives we're told by other people, oh, you can't do that, I was one of those people. I was told like, nah, you can't do that, and I believe that, and it's self-limiting behavior, and I don't get involved with any of that anymore. You know, if I'm into something, I walk down the path of, I reckon I could have a crack at that, you know, and I reckon I'd make a good crack at it, and I reckon it would be good. And I find that there are more things like that now than 10, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So I love helping other people with that and finding their thing, and just like helping to nurture it and helping them to go, you know, I'm going to do this thing. I'm like, you should absolutely do it. I'm just going around in circles talking about the thing. Do the thing. Find the thing. Do the thing. Yeah. It's the truth. It is the truth, though. It is the truth. And it begins with just having a go and believing that you can have a go at something. You know, Andy, like, I mean, there would have been a point when like you were like, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. And there was probably a lot of chat like, nah. There's probably a good amount of like,
I mean,
and that's
there
something
still
that
is.
It's my understanding. Yeah, it's my understanding that YouTubers, you know, battle with that all the time. But here you are doing the thing, and fair play, you know.
Right now, currently, in this moment.
In this moment, exactly, and long may it continue. You know, so I'm an advocate for doing the thing and encouraging people to do the thing, and to
I want the
give
book.
It their all.
You should do books or downloadable, you know, PDFs. Mikey Demus, do the thing.
Do the thing. Yeah.
I'm writing a book right now. I'm writing a book.
There we are. Is it? I hope it's called.
I really am.
If it's not called "Do the Thing" or something like that, if it's some, you know, classy title, I'll be very disappointed. Do the thing.
Thorpe's just texted me saying, "Burn TC Electronic?" Question mark. It's
already on guitarworld.com.
Yeah, great.
Oh, hold on a second.
This is your fault. This is your fault. Asking what should we burn? This is not my fault. I should have. What am I supposed to say? Burn the angry rhubarb. Burn my own thing. What am I supposed to say? Burn the orange guitar. Like, so orange dropped me as an endorsee. This is entrapment. This is actual entrapment, and I'm not cool with it. I love TC Electronic. I use a TC Electronic tuner. I've got a bloody.
Hang on. Just so you know, Charlie Cooper from Orange is in the chat right now. So if you do want to lose all your relationships with Orange, you can do it right now live on the show.
Now is the time. What's next after pedals, Mikey? A PR campaign to save my skin, probably after this. Like, probably. What's next after pedals? What is next after pedals? Okay, this is a really good question. Charlie Cooper from Orange Amps. Really, really cool dude. What's next after pedals? Well, obviously my band's getting a bit more active again, so it's not after pedals, it's like coinciding with pedals. I'm also in the process of rejuvenating my YouTube channel. I'm in the process of making content. I'm in a sort of like stockpiling mode at the moment where I've made a bunch of videos and I'm just waiting until I've got enough where I can go boom, 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 trying to put something up more regularly, doing something week by week. Which Andy actually has been massively helpful with helping me out with stuff like that. So kudos to you, Andy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I would say that if anybody wanted off the back of this to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel,
oh come on,
now's your opportunity.
Flipping heck. Sell some pedals, demolish a multinational company, and plug your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, steal your audience, basically. Yeah, today's been a good day. I've really burned some bridges here, haven't I?
Yeah, I was just connecting the dots. Last week we've been reporting about the big fire at Boutique Amps Distributions, and now it all, you know, the puzzle is complete. You know, Mikey
watch out for Redbeard.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You can't even joke about that. That's not fair. That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that happens to a lot of good people. Oh my god. I can't even. I'm not even joking about that.
No, just kidding. But I think it's good, and it shows your competitiveness that your approach to kind of, you know, building that company and kind of getting out the product is that you want to succeed, and you don't want to clone existing products. You want to provide like additional value to the customer. You want to have something that's unique in the market and that is successful. You know, it just shows your passion about it. You know, you care.
You seem hungry. You seem super hungry.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah, I am. I'm starving actually. I haven't had dinner. But besides that, because I've been waiting to do this thing with you guys. But outside of that, no, absolutely. I don't want to exist in a space where we're like taking someone else's thing. You know, I want to have our own thing and it to do its own thing and do well. I don't want to be the biggest pedal company on the planet. You know, there's a space for everyone, and I enjoy being able to be in a space in this sort of community where people lift each other up rather than pull each other down. You know, and I think that's a really important thing in any creative industry. You know, it's the same with music. I think it's the same with people who build guitars or guitar amps, and it's anyone who's been to NAMM would know that it's really sort of inclusive environment where you sort of brings people together, and that's what we're doing with music and with guitars. And I don't want to be stealing anyone else's thing. I just want to have I want our own thing to do as well as it can do, and I'll do everything I can to make it do that. Obviously I'm a massive fan of what other people do. I'm a massive fan of Way Huge, like Moog, Earthquaker devices. Like, I think some of those companies, what they're doing is they make some really cool out there stuff. And I think if I could even exist in the same like conversation in the same space as companies like that, like you're doing all right. And obviously like outside of that, you got like even massively successful companies like Boss, TC Electronic, all these kind of places, and like Electro Harmonics. Like even to be in the same conversation as some of them is like, wow, you've arrived. And it's early days for us. And who knows where it will go. I would love to have like a range of pedals. I wouldn't want to necessarily have any needless pedals. I just would want something to exist off its own merit. And like I said, I just want people to play them and like them and use them, and talk about them and tell other people about them. That's all you can ask for, really. The company will do what it does, and we'll continue to put out stuff we think is wicked, and hopefully there's other people out there who agree, and hopefully that can only just grow. That's the plan, I guess.
I think you're nearing
Sounds
the
like
point
a
where
very
it
good
stops being, and I'm going to put, I know Thorpe's in it as well, but it stops being Mikey Demus's pedals and starts just being some pedals. And that's at the point when they're really going to change level of, it's not so much you pushing it and you with the branding, you and Thorpe, but when they become just some pedals that some kid finds in the shop and says, that's a pedal that's cool, and has no idea who you or anybody is, that's the level. I think you're so close to that at the moment, especially with this new release.
That would be the dream, really, because at no point, I think there was some confusion when we launched as well with like, oh, they're signature pedals or they're this. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's like, yeah, we might have come to an idea for one, for like, this pedal fit the brief of a guitarist who wanted a thing, and hopefully there are other guitarists like that guitarist who also could get a thing out of this thing. It wasn't like recreate what I do, because who the hell would want to recreate what I do? You know what I mean? That's not the idea. That's not the plan. It's like, yeah, I do use this stuff, and yeah, it does sound like me when I use it, but you plug into my amp with my stuff, you're going to sound like you. If I plug into your stuff, I'm going to sound like me. And it was never a case of like completely just metamorphosize your tone into me. That's not really what I'm about. When I was coming up, I never was interested in people's signature stuff. Not really. It's like it just seems so weird to me, And even when like I have a signature guitar with Manson, and it was like such a weird project, such a weird thing to think, getting your head around the idea that someone would want to like have your thing. And so it was like a totally weird thing that someone else can get their head around. I want it to be like accessible. I want it to be like, I've never heard of that person, but their thing is cool. A bit, like the Jim Root telly. Like, how many people play a Jim Root telly? They're not slim.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're not trying to go, I want to be Jim Root. They're like, that's a badass guitar. And that's the dream, it's not about becoming someone else. And it's the same with this stuff, and that's why, like, with all this, we're having some really cool content from yourself, from other people who've tried the pedal. It's coming in, like, it's been all flooding in today, and it's been amazing. But it's all really musical stuff, which I'm really stoked about, because the last thing I wanted would be to be like, it's typecast. It's like, hey, detune your guitar down to like drop A sharp and play some new metal riff. That's what this is for. Like, that's not what it's for. That's not what it's about. It's about like doing your thing with. And so I'm really psyched that like there's demos that I'm seeing on the YouTube today that are like, you know, people playing Motown and stuff with like the Angry Rhubarb. I'm like, yes, this is the stuff. This is what we're talking about. Like, I wanted stuff to be like accessible. I wanted it to be versatile. I wanted stuff to be able to be like, you do you with it. Like, don't try and do me with it, because like, you know, who the hell am I at the end of the day? It's like, do you with it and make it the best version of you. Let it help you become like super you. Hopefully, that would be my dream. I would love for like people to go, who the hell's Mikey Demus? Like, who's that? Like, it is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. That's not necessarily the idea behind the pedal.
He's the guy that soldered this pedal.
I just happened to solder it, or like put it together, or design the artwork for the silk screen, like, or that kind of thing. And I have one on my pedal board, but it's not like become that person by pressing this switch. Like, it can do that, but I think, you know, there's more to it than that. That's not what it's just about. It's about more than that. It's about more than that.
Well, as we've plugged your pedals and, you know, your YouTube channel, can we finish off by plugging your band? Because I know you're going back on stage very, very soon. So when is your first live show back?
So, I only heard about this about a week or two ago. Couldn't talk about it, but we're doing the download pilot on a week on Sunday, which is the 20th of June. 20th of June we're playing, and it's like a scaled down version of Download Festival, which is like, I want to say it's like 10,000 capacity at Donington Park in the UK, and it's us and a bunch of other British bands playing. And it's our first time back playing in like 18 months. And I'm going into rehearsals next week to rehearse. It's going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait. It's going to be really weird. We've got that. We've got another festival in August called Bloodstock, which I believe is happening. And we've got a headline tour happening at the end of the year, going from like September into October. And we're going to just sort of see how that happens. This thing we're doing at Download is like, that's like the framework for how festivals are going to work moving forward. So should that all go to plan, other things should go to plan. And the tour we're doing at the end of the year, it's all indoors. So I'm hoping that by that point, by the time we get there, it will be a thing and it will be happening. We just have to act like it is. We'll be rehearsing, we'll be getting the set together and acting as if it's all going ahead. And until I hear differently, I'm going to plan for it, you know, going ahead. So yeah, September, October, next Sunday. If you can get a ticket to Download, good luck. I don't think there are any left. And that's pretty much it. I don't think we're not even talking about getting on a plane anytime soon. I don't think. Been booked for some European stuff, but I don't think it's a thing. I don't think. Yeah.
I hope it will be at some point, so we can hang out and I can, pull your beard.
Yeah. Let's sit in a warm, sunny field and, you know, put the world to rights sometime. Let's do that.
Good. Sounds good. Well, thank you, mate. Dan, thank you for, you know, being you.
Thank you.
Anybody want to thank me?
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all your support with the Angry Rhubarb and not being able to say the name properly. And thanks for landing me in a whole load of like problems I'm going to now have to go and unpick with various other brands and manufacturers. I'm going to be on the phone for the rest of the evening explaining myself probably and lacking the context of the jokes and the hijinks that have been part of this evening's entertainment. Thanks for that.
Let's end on a high. Let's end on a comment from Square Wave Symphonies, who said, I impulse bought the Angry Rhubarb pretty much the second it dropped. Can't wait to pair it with my Honey Badger. That's one of my all-time favourites already. There we go. There's some nice lifting each other up.
Thank you, Square Wave Symphonies. And I'm pretty sure that Square Wave Symphonies is one of our Instagram followers and is very prevalent on commenting, liking, and just being very pro Redbeard. So maximum respect to you. Thank you for all your support. It really means a lot.
So nice. He sent a little heart. There you go. That's for you, Mikey.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody.
Hearts for you.
Ah, Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out, and I really like this chat, Mike. We have some really nice people watching the show, and they also kind of just talk amongst themselves as well, which is really wonderful. And if anyone's wondering if I'm reading stuff, I am reading stuff. I'm reading the chat as well. It's all going on. I got buttons to press, and I could even press this button, and it would make that sound. So, I'm looking forward to our next guest next week, Mikey. We've got some top guests coming up. The whole month of June, we've got quality guests. So thank you
Who have
for
you
being
got?
one of them. I can't tell you. Or should we tell them?
Sure. Yeah.
Hang on, then. Let me just make sure that I'm saying the right name because I am. Okay, cool. Next
Luke,
week,
right?
yeah, Luke Hobbs from Guitar Auction, the guitar auctions in the UK. And last time we talked about the guitar auctions in the UK, the chat and the following up comments on everything went nuts. And we were talking to Tom Quayle, who was possibly trying to outbid me on a shark-shaped guitar. And next week, we have Luke Hobbs from Guitar Auctions, from Gardner Holgate, the night before the auction. So he's going to know absolutely everything the night before the auction. And I'm hoping to get some top tips secretly in the green room. Because there's some good stuff. Have you seen these guitar auctions, Mikey?
Were they at Birmingham Guitar Show
Birmingham,
in
yes,
2020?
they were. Follow their
yeah,
Instagram
yeah. I
because
think
there's some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think I do follow them.
It's
Because
scary.
I'm always on the lookout for like random lefties and stuff, and that's the sort of spot where you find random cool stuff.
All right. Well, I wish you luck with your left-handedness.
Thanks. No problem. No problem at all.
Danny, you going to ask people to give us 5 stars?
Absolutely, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you liked it, or if you didn't, no matter, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to just subscribe to Andy's channel, as well as check out Redbeard Effects on Instagram. Yeah, apart from that, be well to each other, be nice, play the guitar, rock out, and hope to see all of you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you to our
guys.
new boss
Thanks,
of the
everyone.
stream, by the way. Scar My Guitar is the current boss of the stream for these super chat. It's been a pleasure, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you next week.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye 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 bye.
Bye. Oh, it's me again. I didn't put the flipping video on. We did this last week where I just... Hang on, I'll go back to us. There we go. Last week I didn't press some buttons, so we'll have to pick a favorite freeze frame and we'll just do that for 5 seconds. I got to move to press the button, but yeah. Cheers. Bye.